How many people, if you were to ask, where's your happy place, would be able to give you easily an answer? For some, it's where they enjoy a particular hobby. For others, it's a favourite restaurant or holiday destination. Others might speak of the people that they like to be with. If I was to ask you, where is your safe place? I wonder if you could describe that as clearly. Maybe the two are the same place, like this hiker's hut. It might be a place you simply enjoy, but if you were caught in wild weather too far from camp, may just be the place that could save your life, if you could find it. Many people don't have a safe place, or a refuge from danger, or shelter to run to, and that's not their fault or from lack of want. When I think of those in the Bible who needed somewhere safe to hide, I immediately think of David. As a boy, he was anointed as the king of Israel, but he wasn't made king straight away. Instead, he faced many years where he was often welcomed into the court of the reigning King Saul, even hailed as his champion, but then later had to flee from the same king in fear of his life. The place where he should have been the safest became the greatest place of danger, so he ran. I've seen the sort of country that David had to flee to, and the sort of places he had to hide. And I've read the stories of how, even when from within those caves he had the opportunity to kill the king who had become his enemy, he held back when those closest to him advised him otherwise. Read the story for yourself in 1 Samuel chapter 24. David had clearly found a great place to hide, but that had not become his confidence. David ultimately trusted God to shield him, to protect him, and to fight for him. David would later write songs with words like these in Psalm 32. For you are my hiding place. You protect me from trouble. You surround me with songs of victory. He knew what it was like to be pursued and to be kept safe, and how to see God work. But what's interesting is that this psalm isn't about being chased by Saul or any other king. He's writing about being kept safe from sin and guilt. We don't like talking about either of those things, unless we're talking about somebody else, of course. But have you considered that the greatest threat to your own life and future is your own guilt and sin? We can try and run and attempt to hide ourselves from those things we're ashamed of, but they have a habit of finding us, and before God, they're certainly never hidden. David had found a much better way. The psalm begins, "Oh, what joy for those whose disobedience is forgiven, whose sin is put out of sight. Yes, what joy for those whose record the Lord has cleared of guilt, whose lives are lived in complete honesty." When we confess our sins to God, He removes them from us completely. The Bible is full of these promises, all of which are fulfilled in Jesus. More than one hiker through this bushland has longed for greater safety than exposure to the natural elements provide. It is wise when here to be prepared and to know where and how to seek shelter. But this life is no less dangerous, and our risk of harm no less great. Where are we to turn? In another psalm of David we read, "The Lord rescues the godly. He is their fortress in times of trouble. The Lord helps them, rescuing them from the wicked. He saves them, and they find shelter in Him." That's Psalm 37, verses 39 and 40. I pray that you might not only find great happiness in this life, but discover and know great security and peace. For confidence in what God has promised and protection from all that would snatch that away. Bring your troubles and your burdens to the Lord. He cares for you and offers both shelter and rest. I hope to find you safe at the end of the trail. May God bless your journeys.